So we take a breath, maybe even more than one, as we allow ourselves to relax in. Just allow anything that it took to get here to this time, this space, this moment to fall away. Allow yourself to feel your feet on the ground, to feel yourself centered in this moment, centered here, centered now. As we continue breathing just regularly, no specific breath pattern needed, just regularly and relaxed, we allow our muscles to relax as well. We allow the space within us to become more spacious. We allow our heart to open. We allow our needs to relax. We allow our preferences to step aside for a moment. We open and accept this exact second, exactly as it is. We are here. We are breathing the oneness of Godness. What has happened before this moment and this day has happened. We let it be what it has been. What will happen after we move forward from this space is unwritten. And we allow that to be as well. Without worry, without our need to control the next thing that happens, we just let it sit in possibility, knowing that God is there with it and that the divine within it is what will unfold for us. Because we will claim it to be that as it unfolds. But for now, in this precious gift of this now moment, we open, and we do so in gratitude. We're here. We made it. No matter what we have come through to get here, this space is ours now in God. We are a perfect work in progress. We are perfectly present in this moment exactly as we should be, whatever that presence brings. We check in within. Are there spaces and places in this spacious, sacred ground within us that need our attention? Are there spaces and places that need our love, our gratitude, our appreciation for all that this vehicle that we travel through this world has brought us through? For this experience to be us in this time, this space, this precious opportunity to bring forth our Godness into being, to surf the waves of fear, of separation, to know that we are one within the oneness. We breathe the breath of God with every breath we take. Though we are separate individuals, each an eachness in the oneness, we know that we are interconnected with ourselves and with the world around us. We take a moment to feel for the others in this room, to feel the hearts, the joys, the sadnesses, the growth, the opportunity, the support that we have in this family of spirit. We feel eachness, and we declare its oneness. We feel love for the way each of us shows up differently, bringing what is only ours to bring into this world. We send out strength. We send out all of the bravery in the field that we know that each person here needs to be perfectly themselves. We send out a wave of love and light and support for not just the people in this room, not just the people who virtually take part in our services, but further out into this world. That interconnectedness with our earth, with our environment, we feel it, we love it, we are grateful for it, and we just let it grow. We take a moment to be in that oneness, to feel into that oneness and our place in it and our presence and the presence of God all around the world for a moment in the silence. And we breathe, allowing that wave of support to settle, changing the atoms, the vibrations of this world just by sending it out. We are so grateful to have the awareness of this power within. We are so grateful to have this awareness of the power within each of us. We step into our power, into our responsibility, into the grace that comes with being human, and into the awareness of the divine. And for that we say, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. So I told you there's like heavy stuff. So this is the last chapter of our Adventure in Faith book, The Quest for Wholeness, this season. We will do more quests. We will do more adventures. We will do so much more as we step into 2025. If I haven't said it from the platform yet, because I've said it a bunch of times, 2025, we are invited to thrive in 2025. That's going to be our yearly theme. So we're going to be talking about a lot of thriving in different ways in 2025. But as we sit toward the end of this year, we wanted to make sure that as we're stepping into our holiday seasons, holidays can be difficult for some people. It can be a hard time to go through. We want to step into this quest for wholeness on our way to that so that we have some tools to bring with us if the end of the year might be difficult. And if the end of the year might be difficult, hi, I'm Trish. I'll be your spiritual cruise director, and I am here. Yes, I am here. If it gets tough, if you need somebody to talk to, if you just want to text. I have some people in this congregation, they don't really want to talk to me on the phone. I can't imagine why, because I'm vaccinated with a troll needle and I just never shut up. But some people will text back and forth, sometimes over the course of an entire day or the course of a couple days. If somebody needs, I'm here. And I'm in it with you because I'm going through it with you. We talk about, we talked about it in this chapter. But I'm going to back up for a second before I go too far, because I want to share a heavy piece of this quest for wholeness with us, and maybe a hard part for people to read, and it's almost the last few pages of this book, but I wanted to start with it and move it from there. So we need to take a breath first. We need to allow inside of us a spaciousness that includes unpleasant things. We need to allow a space inside of us that allows us to embrace things that we would rather not hear and rather not participate in. There are so many people who say, and there are, people who kind of, oh yeah, unity, they're the positive thinking church. It's all good. It's all good. We get mocked for that sometimes by people who think that we're superficial and that we're all of, love and light. Yes, we are, but not because we're superficial, because we allow for the embracing of the experience of all of it, warts and all. And we embrace it and we say, you know what? We are of God, we are part of Godness, and we have within us the ability to transmute energy and shift consciousness and change the very fabric of existence. So, first, we breathe. And we read Healing Ourselves, Healing the World in this book. And he talks in here about how we are transformers. Now, you can't be a transformer if you act like it's all good. I'm so happy all the time, every minute of every day. No. No, that's not when it all becomes good. In truth, it is all good underneath all the appearances. But some of the ways that we need to get there because of the things that we hold in our consciousness cannot seem good. So the words think globally, act locally have appeared on many bumper stickers. These words summarize the philosophy of many transformers. In truth, every act is a global act, whether we realize it or not, because we do not live in isolation. And then it goes on. Okay, so here's where we need to breathe. We see a world filled with many people, 6 billion in the year 2000, and increasing at the rate of 1 billion per decade. Most of the increase is taking place in the poorer nations. Demographers, wow, estimate that our planet can sustain life for about 8 to 12 billion people. At the present, again, this was near 2020, growth rate, somewhere between 2020 and 2060, our planet could be taxed beyond its ability to sustain human life. We see a world filled with hungry people, a world where over 1 billion people are undernourished, and over 33,000 children die of starvation or malnutrition every day. And we breathe. Over 1 billion people do not have access to safe drinking water. And in this same world, more than $2 billion are spent every day on military expenses. The world's problems are not limited to human beings. Plant and animal species are becoming extinct at the rate of more than 1 per hour. This rate is rapidly accelerating. And as you can see, I feel some kind of way about that. 7 out of 10 biologists believe the Earth is now in the midst of the fastest mass extinction of living things in the history of the planet. And we breathe. Most biologists believe that during the next 30 years, 1/5 of all species alive today will become extinct. Tropical rainforests are disappearing at an alarming rate. An area of the size of 3,600 football fields is destroyed every hour. In 1997, 12 million acres of tropical rainforest, an area nearly the size of England, were destroyed. Every year, we are losing 26 billion tons of topsoil. At this rate, there will be none left in 100 years. The carbon dioxide content of the atmosphere has risen by 1/3 in the past 30 years, adding to the greenhouse effect. Nope, not going to go there. Which is contributing to global warming. Just going to let that sit there for a second. The ozone layer in the atmosphere, which protects life from the sun's damaging ultraviolet rays, is rapidly being destroyed by pollutants. And we're in unity. And we believe that all is of God. And we believe that things like this that are happening have to be addressed. We are a part of this planet we are living on. You cannot separate yourself from what is happening in the environment. Each day we all eat or drink microplastics every single day. In about 20 years, we'll get to know what that means to our bodies. We can't avoid them. We have used so much plastic, and it has gone through our food chains and so much of our planet that you can't avoid it. You can't get away from it. So what do we do? What do we do with that stuff? What do we do with the fact that there are peoples being held down and discriminated against and rights stripped from other people? What do we do with that? And not put our heads in the sand and act like it's not happening and stick our fingers in our ears and go, la, 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 la. We breathe. We see where and what we can do to make a difference in what's happening on this planet. Again, with the, do you think you're only one person and you can't do anything? Said 2 billion people. If we all do one thing every day that takes care of ourselves in a way that takes care of our world, it's not irretrievable. We can change this. We can have a planet that will sustain life in long-term ways. But it's important that we realize that in our quest for wholeness, it ain't all about me. It isn't all about what I want or my preferences or what I feel like doing. We have a responsibility to the planet we live on to sustain our Mother Earth, or all of this enlightenment doesn't really mean anything. Right? I mean, where do we go and practice this if our planet is trashed? So as we're looking into our wholeness and who we are and what we create in this world, let's not forget that piece. Okay, so that's the heavy part, okay? Much healing is needed, yet God is present in all of it. See, we're not, if we ascribe to the puppet God sitting on a cloud somewhere, pulling our strings and making us do things, we can act like we don't have responsibility for where we find ourselves. But I ask in classes with my students for years when I did environmental classes, I said, so can your dog fix the pollution problem? Can the wild birds or the bears or the fish in the sea, can they fix it? No, they didn't make it. We did. Self-responsibility is one of the biggest turnkey parts of our lives. Now, what can happen, though, is we can feel like we're responsible for every single thing and we have to fix every single thing. That's why there's so many of us and we're so diverse. We all have different things we do, different things we can do, different capabilities, different times in our lives where we move in relationship in different ways. We're putting different things out into the world and pulling different things from the world at different times in our lives, depending on where we're at and what our capabilities are in the moment. It says we need not despair, nor should we be complacent. God is present, but not as some magical figure in the sky who will swoop down and save us from our greed and ignorance. God is present as us. We are God's hands and feet. We are both the cause and the potential cure for the suffering on our planet. Whether that is of our planet, of our people, of our animals, of our environment, we are the dominant species. Everybody likes to point at that, but biblically, and say we are the dominant species of the planet. We have dominion over the earth, as though that means everything else is somehow smaller or insignificant, and we're these mighty, powerful things. Yeah? How's that going? That attitude, stinks. We have dominion means we have ultimate responsibility as the thinking animal with opposing thumbs on this planet. We are the ones that have the power to trash it or save it. It's up to us. So if we just do what's within our sphere to be able to do, that's where the change comes from. You know, I've been doing a lot of self-discovery, and what we bring to this world, what we bring into this world and what we project out into this world, not only change our experience, but change other people's experiences as well. Since I moved here 2 years ago, plus a month or so, I've been in a time of personal transformation. Depending on how well you know me or how superficially you know me, you know I've come through some really interesting journeys and challenges and grown through some things in relationship and stuff like that. I've come through this personal growth experience after the death of my husband and the world falling apart as I knew it. But so we go through this world, and no matter what we do, we can't change the fact that we are projecting out into the world. We talked about it in the Zoom on Friday night when we did our Quest for Wholeness Zoom, and I said, it's kind of like we're all wearing signs all the time. And there is a time for us to wear closed for repairs. I feel like one of those people standing on the street corner. There have been times that I have been walking around trying to interact with my world when what's really happening inside of me is saying this to everybody. No matter what my mouth is saying, no matter what my words are trying to say or what I'm trying to fake until I make, my energy is saying closed. My energy might be saying, or our energy might be giving a big old stop sign to everybody. It's like, and we might be saying at the same time, gosh, I wish I had a boyfriend. Gosh, I really, I would love to have more money and prosperity in my life. And I'm walking around doing this to the world. You can't have it both ways. It's an inside job. So listen to the words you're saying and feel into what your body is giving out. Because this is what the universe hears. People hear this stuff, but then they watch what actions follow it and what's happening. So if this is what is coming from me, this is what's actually going to be showing up in my life. I've told everybody, I started working out. Mom and I started working out. I guess it's been over a year now. Wow. Yay me. And I remember when we started going to the gym, I might as well have been wearing this sign. I would go from machine to machine with my head down. I would do the one and do the other and move from one thing to the other and probably not even really look up. And as the time has gone on, and I've been doing my inner work on how I show up in relationship to the world and how relationship shows up in the world to me, and I've allowed my fears to not run my life, because I did that for a while too. And while I have been able to move through some of that, slowly, the do not touch sign that I was wearing everywhere I went, except for here. I would come here, and I would stand up here, and I would be all excited, and it was constantly just open for business. Here I am. Let's do this thing when I was here. Everywhere else in my life, except for with my kids and with my family, it was either closed for repairs or do not touch. No touchy. Now, when I go to the gym now, and it's been a gradual process, I've told you I have a friend at the gym, and and a lot of people have asked, and some of you have heard, and some of you. So the saga of the gentleman who invited me out continues, but it continues in. I went and just basically said, I so appreciate it. And he's a handsome man, and he's a nice man. And if I were in another place, wow, I said that. I said, Tina, yeah. Yeah, right, Val? But we manifest different people at different times in our lives, too. And I am in relationship with this person now as a friend, and as a great friend. I really look forward to seeing him, and we talk a lot, and he negotiates in every week for friends with benefits, and it's not happening. Yeah, no, do not touch. And that's because there is still this giant part in me that meets this person and says, what a lovely person. But I don't think that's where I'm going in my relationship life. And because I've been working so hard on what's happening in here, I have been able to dialogue that with this person in a way that we now have a friendship, and it's fun. I get a big hug from him every time I come in. Some days there's the negotiation, some days there's not. But I'm getting very clear in my parameters. I was so afraid, you guys. I told you, there's no boundary. Well, yes, I do have very clear boundaries, but I do overshare, maybe. You think? Yeah. But I'm told that that's what everybody loves about the way that I share, so buckle up, Buttercup. But I have been able to be clear enough, and this is one of my largest fears after my husband passed was, oh my God, I don't have that shield and sword in a wedding ring. I don't have that relationship to hold up and show up in the world and go, I'm married, thank you. And I'm a big personality, and I love life, and I love to just get right in there and things, generally. And as a single woman, that's different. So how do we show up and blast out our godness? We do it by creating boundaries inside and creating very strong sense of self that says, this is what I want, this is not what I want. See, that's God calling. See what happens? God goes, really, Trish? Are you going to share this? No. Yeah. We develop... Vinny, is that you? No, do not touch. No, yeah, okay. But we create this space that allows us to be in the world, not take on everything, or feel like we have to, but at the same time do what we can and show up in a way that brings what we are resonating with in a way that we move forward with. This gentleman is lovely. He's not my type. And I am getting clearer because of him in my parameters of what I want, what I will put up with, what I claim, what I align myself with. We're all doing this. See, the only reason I overshare to an embarrassing degree up here is hopefully you will find in your life where this is happening. We teach people how to treat us. We teach the world how to treat us. And how we treat the world depends on what comes back to us. And what we allow and what we embrace and what we move through. I met this other gentleman there. Yeah, those of you, Planet Fitness, there's a lot of single people there. Just saying, if you're looking, go work out. There's a gentleman that I met, and this is showing me, again, if we look for it, the world will continue showing us where we're at. Little signposts. Oh, here's another person showing up with this old behavior. How do you react to it now? How do you respond? Oh, here's a world tragedy in your face. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to move forward from it in? We constantly get these little signposts. So there's this other gentleman that, and sometimes you're leaving a machine and another person is coming and you almost bump into people, or you're staring into space while you're exercising, whatever you're exercising, and you might lock eyes with someone across the room just because you're both looking in the same direction or whatever. And there's this other gentleman that I've met a couple weeks ago that, and this is about what we're sharing. This is about me stepping into my own and saying, you know what? I can be here and see everyone and not be afraid of engaging because I know me a little better now. I know what I want and what I will put up with and what I will not. Some. I don't know all yet, but I'm getting there. And so this other gentleman I see at a distance, and he smiles and I smile, and we just kind of waved and went on with our workout. And the next time I came, I saw him again, and we both, you kind of do the little wave. And about the fourth time that we did this, I walked over to him and I said, I just want to tell you, you have a great smile, and I really appreciate you sharing it with me. And he said, oh my God, same. He said, I look for you so that we can smile at each other, so that we can... Where are we doing this in life? Where are we showing up places that people are looking for us after a while so we can share that moment of, just that moment of connection. And no, I don't know if he's single. And no, I don't know. It's that connection. It's a piece of connection. Because we are, in truth, all connected. In the book here you want something that's a little mind-blowing. Deepak Chopra tells us that we are constantly sharing the atoms of our bodies with one another. Based on calculations derived from radioisotope studies. Hold on, I'm dropping things. We know that with every breath, wait until you hear this if you didn't read it. With every breath you exhale, you disperse 100 billion trillion atoms that were once part of every organ of your body. Can you imagine? From these same studies, we know that in the past 3 weeks, 1,000 trillion atoms have passed through your body that have been a part of the body of every other living being on this planet. And at the present time, your body contains about 1 million atoms that were at one time a part of the body of Jesus of Nazareth. Wow. right? We are individuals. We are eachnesses in the oneness. What we do matters. You've heard of the butterfly effect, that if a butterfly, it's a true thing in weather phenomena, that when they are predicting weather, they say the flap of a butterfly wing on one side of the earth can change the weather on the other side. The clouds that we watch out in our sky started on the other side of the planet. The water that we drink today has been here from the beginning of the planet. It just gets recycled and recycled again. We are a part of this oneness. We have a responsibility to our wholeness. We can reach out and do just one thing that makes a difference for one other living being, and that effect will ripple through so many. I've been sharing for a while that I've always had, since I was 17 years old, I've had tons of animals in my house, up to a dozen at a time, most of the time somewhere around 6. And here I now have 2 cats and a dog, and that's the least amount of animals I've had in the longest time. And for about a month, I've been feeling a kitten coming. Be careful what you let loose in the universe. Because for about a month I've been thinking, well, maybe. And I had a Heartland Cat Rescue. If you do not know of Heartland Cat Rescue, please donate to them, give to them, reach out to them, do whatever you can for them. They are doing amazing work, and they are amazing people. And so this Friday night we did our Zoom, and I said in the Zoom, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling like a kitten is coming. And I kind of feel like there's a kitten in my future. And if you're noticing, I have a Band-Aid. The kitten arrived. Yeah. So I got off of the Zoom on Friday night from our group, and I opened Facebook just to see what was going on. And what was the first post? A kitty cat. And it said, this poor little boy was found on the road. And the line that got me, we all have the line that gets us, right? Look for the line that gets you, that pulls you to your next thing. The line was, we know we can't save them all, but do you have room for just this one? Oh, crap. And so I texted, and funny, it was the street right behind the Dollar General here off of South Orange Blossom, and I went and picked up the little kitty first thing in the morning, and I thought it was going to be all on its own, and thank goodness, at first I thought I was going to end up having to bottle feed it, but it actually is weaned. She is weaned. Her name is Sophie. And she has a cat in my house that I've had for over a decade, and have never seen this cat do anything but hiss and swat at other cats. And she moved up on the couch last night in front of this cat, and I thought, oh, here we go. And she just went to the cat, and the cat went, okay. And she laid right down next to the cat, and I thought, foster fail, What can we do? That's one little thing. It's one little cat. There are kittens all over the place. There are dogs. There's environmental stuff. There's all these things. Do we grab on to the tragic nature of all of it, or do we say, I have room in my heart and my life to do this? This one thing, or these 2 things, or these 5 things. I have room for this. I have capability for this. That is what changes our planet, one act at a time. I encourage you to find the acts. I encourage you to step forward in one thing every day. Now, it's Thanksgiving week. Right? My gosh. So we have our Thanksgiving dinner here because of me, the time is wrong on the calendar. It says noon on the calendar. It's at 1 p.m. Our Thanksgiving dinner here is at 1 p.m. If you want to sign up and haven't, you would need to see Joe at this point. It looks like we're going to have somewhere around 55 or 60 people this year. And so please come if you want to, even if at the very last second on Thanksgiving Day you wake up and say, oh darn, I didn't sign up. I wish I did. I can't bring anything. Come. Come, be with us. It's an amazing experience here. It's wonderful. So Thanksgiving is Thursday. Friday, Saturday? Friday, Black Friday. You don't want to go out and get in all those crowds. You want to come here and help decorate the church. So, and it's probably in the announcements, and I'm sorry, Tina, if I'm stepping on your feet, but Friday from 10 to probably about noon, it usually takes us a couple hours, we're going to be decorating the sanctuary for Christmas on Friday. So come on, be here if you would like to. You'll probably meet my son, my friend Steve, if you haven't met him, will be here as well, and we'll be decorating for Christmas on Friday. And then we'll see you Sunday for the first Sunday of Advent. And you know what that means. That means we have Unity's Advent book. So if you would like to, excuse me, join us during our adventure, you are welcome to take one of the books. We will see names that you see a lot of times repeated in our Writers for Unity. This is a book where everyone volunteers. All the writing that you see in here is volunteered through the sign. Well, there's a whole problem. But anyway, it is a wonderful book to help us move through the season centered. So if you would like, take one of the books and join us through our adventure. And I hope you will. And oh my gosh, I think I've talked circles. All right, thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for showing up. Make those atoms count. And so it is.
Thank you for joining us today. Please visit www.unityofsebring.org for more information, to submit a prayer request, or to donate to our ministry. We hope to see you again very soon.